Oh, yeah. Hello. Welcome to Sparta. Welcome to the Archangel Michael's chat. He's live. Well, tonight, if you want, if you're in the chat and you're watching, you could talk about your dreams. And that's what tonight's chat is about. We can discover what your dreams might be about. And maybe I will tell you about some of my dreams. Because my dreams tend to become a reality. And I'm sure some of your dreams could as well. Well, first time in a long time. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, those bourbons are going down well. First time in a long time. I've had to deal with any of these guys today. That's strange. It's like they're taking a break for a day. They all decided to take a break. Like I said, I usually deal with about 10 a day. You know. But they're starting to learn about this guy. People are in and out, not sure what this Archangel Michael is all about. A guy sitting here with an Akubra hat and a white mask. A very expensive Akubra hat and a very cheap mask. Yes. But that's what people want. You want the show, you want the hype, you want the fanfare, or do you want the reality? And the reality is, my main content is the Lord's Prayer. And you don't hear many of them saying that unless they're asking you for money. And the ones asking you for money are not doing it for God, they're doing it for man. Doing it for themselves and the cash. It's as simple as that. Well, let's get God into the chat and God into the day, as we say the Lord's Prayer. Let's make it a bit more ethereal. And here we go. This goes out to all the children that are suffering around the world. And those that are hurting them, we're going to find you. We're going to expose you. And then we will put you to our trial. And it won't be he who be judged, lest be judged. No. You would have forfeited your right to any judgment other than one, where you chose to lead to go. So we're going to put you there a lot quicker. Okay, here comes the best content that there is on YouTube. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but to deliver us from evil. Hail Mary, full of grace. Amen. Well, it looks like we've had a burst troll. There you go, talking about trolls. Trolls, eh? We just happen to have one. Well, let's discover about this troll. See, what these trolls don't understand is you can go like this, And you can go and check their channel activity and see that they've been there for 13 years and 4 subscribers and have no real content. So, a troll. So, been online for 14 years, only held an account probably to watch and to troll. So, and they could just come in and laugh at the Archangel Michael. Well, that's alright. That's cool. Do such a thing. But I'll be holding the last laugh. Alright, since I'm going to have scrolls, I'm going to have to use some of my godlike power. And here's something that you don't understand about the Archangel Michael. The strength is in my wisdom. I have a question for this Anita JBN 3037. There's no one watching at the moment, but I know you come in and trolled. But when you go back and have a look and have a little giggle at your bullshit, to see if you did anything, well, I have a question, right? You're probably thinking you don't even know me. But the people can hate you for no reason. Why can't I love you for no reason? See, I forgive that bullshit, because I know that you are a fault of mind, and you're under a spell of Satan himself, without even knowing it, without even realizing. But that is the way you want to be. That is the way you're going to be. People are going to be in and out. What's this Archangel Michael all about? But, you know, I was talking about trolls, and I was the first one there, having a good laugh at the Lord's Prayer, mind you. I didn't think that was rather funny. I thought that was quite sacrilegious, really. So, that's where you're going to go. And it's not going to be up if you treat religion, especially the one thing that we can be sure that Jesus brought to us, which was the Lord's Prayer. The rest of us just fucking garble. And if they're going to laugh at the Lord's Prayer, well, I'm sorry on the path that you're on, because I'm not. Right, I'm going to be talking about dreams. So if you really want to know anything, what do you dream about? Am I an Australian? Of course I'm an Australian. This is an accent I put on for a little bit of a show, but I've got a very Australian accent. Very Australian accent indeed. Oh yes, people trying to locate the stars on my future. See? But that's alright, I won't check you because you just asked a normal question. Are you an Australian? And yes, I'm a proud Australian. Alright? And I always will be. That's what people have to understand. When the world goes to shit, who do you call? The Australians. Sorry, but it's a fact. Right, copyright disclaimer. Just in case anyone wants to be cheeky and smart. Right? The content used in this video is intended for educational purposes only. All rights to images, music, clips, and other materials used belong to their respective owners. I do not claim any ownership over any third-party content used. And now for my own sake. Channel's contents, in the two test images and videos, are the property of Archangel Michael and the property of Sparta, and are protected under the Copyright Act. Reproduction or distribution of any part of this copyrighted content without my permission is strictly prohibited. Well, the whole idea of tonight's chat is about dreams. And you might dream of an item or an object or a place. I've got the dream dictionary there, and we might be able to discover what your dreams are about. And maybe I'll tell you some of mine. Because mine become reality, whether you like to believe so or not. They do. So, don't be shy. I don't bite. Well, in, out, in, out. Not sure what this Archangel Michael is all about. They come in and they see a guy in a mask. I don't know how to take that. Saying the Lord's Prayer and laughing in it? Well, definitely don't know how to take that. Must be only 14. Joined when I was a baby, obviously. Crazy. Now technology. But that's true. Technology is a sign for the next coming. So, what do we do? People in and out. No one wants to come and tell me what they dream about. And I might be able to tell them what that dream is about. Why you dream of that object. A proper A to Z dictionary right here. All about dreams. And it's quite interesting. It's just to give you a sample. Just to give you a sample. Okay. So you're dreaming and you dream you're barefoot. Well, depending on the circumstances of the dream, to be barefoot can indicate either poverty or recognition of sensual freedom. To be barefoot, not to be able to find one's shoes, well, shows a lack of stability and awareness of inappropriate behavior. Right? Being barefoot at one time indicated great humility. When Christ wished to show that he was no different from other men, he washed his disciples' feet. So if he was such a high king, why is he washing their feet? See, he was trying to signify that he was no different from any other man. He was a part of us, but he's also a part of God. He was a humble man, Jesus. But that's what being barefoot in a dream is all about. Oh, Scotty, you got about banquets, bars, barbers, baptisms. We might leave that to someone who wants to ask that one. I'm not going to give out too much unless someone comes along. Obviously, Monday and Wednesday nights are the most popular nights when people want to watch. Popular days for me. No one wants to come. Everyone's busy. But I understand that. I understand that. But that's the way it is. But they won't stay on long if there's no one going to come. No point staying on. Well, you've got cancer here. Dreaming of cancer. How about that? Yes. Oh, here's one. Dreaming about cannibalism. I'll definitely talk about that one. The dream of cannibalism usually represents unsophisticated or an inappropriate behavior within oneself. To be aware of eating human flesh may indicate our dislike of unsuitable foods or the fact that you're possessed by a demon. There is often a part of ourselves we have not internalized, which we need to absorb. So cannibalize yourself. Getting even stranger. Eating human flesh in a dream can mean that we are taking the wrong information. So if you're dreaming of eating human flesh in a dream, dreaming of how much you love pizza, all you hierarchy out there, well, you're pushing out the wrong information and you're getting the wrong information. Fact! Absorbing powers or qualities belonging to somebody else. And that is a true fact. Ask Jag, you're right. She'll understand that straight away, because I do. I understand that fully. Might not be the same type of way, but it's the same type of magic and the same type of spirit. The same type of power and the same type of energy. It's not a bad magic, but it can be used for bad magic. Right? Truthfully, the trees around us are your relatives. Think that one, and you might understand what nature and death and procreation is all about. Remember that. We have to die so we can see the earth with our flesh so it can regrow. So then eventually we go into nature as we dissolve, become the trees, the grass. The trees usually absorb us up eventually, bit by bit, no matter where you are. You know, even your breath goes into a tree. What does a tree do? Gives back the breath of life. So we feed each other from breathing, from seeding. And that's it. And the trees of nature are your relatives. When you breathe out carbon monoxide, they breathe it in. And they breathe out oxygen. Return the favor. See how that's a symbiosis? Built for it. Every individual and every being and every creature is built for this world in a perfect manner, like a perfect design. Not so much flawless, because it's got its own choice to choose more designs as it goes along. And that's not just us, that's all life. That's why it evolves and changes. Like the old saying, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, technically the rooster did. If you want to be jokeful about it, he came first. No, it was definitely the egg. Because whatever creature laid that egg wasn't quite like the chicken that come out of the egg. And that's what you call evolution. In a sense. Right. Well, no one wants to come in and ask about questions. Add the Q&A sticker. Cooking shows make you... Oh, why? Cooking shows make you hungry. Oh, that. Are you an Australian? No, of course I'm Australian. Right. Well, you got all kinds of things here. Dreaming of family, dreaming of fame and famous. Everyone dreams to be famous sometimes. Let's explore that, what that would be. Also, see celebrity, it says. Hello. Hello, Haley. We're talking about dreams. If you're interested, at least she was nice and said hi. It would be nice to have a like and sit back and watch for a while, and you might learn something. You might learn what you get that. Let's look about fame and famousness. Dreaming of being famous or achieve fame within a chosen field signifies that we ourselves need to recognize and give ourselves credit for our own abilities. In waking life, we may be relatively shy, but in dreams, we can often achieve such things which we could not believe were capable. Oh, thank you very much, Haley. Liked and subbed. That's very nice. I like that. That's a good person. Yes, well done. Thank you very much. Welcome to Sparta, Haley. Welcome to Sparta, and I am your host, the Archangel Michael himself, the only one God will be sending. Right, well, fame and famousness. We all dream about that. The ego is a very powerful tool. And the human being's need for recognition arises from this. Right, which is true in all the sense. If we're trying to make decisions as how to move forward within our lives, right, we have to recognize our potential to stand out in the crowd, or not, as in the case may be, and to dream of that fame allows us to crystallize our attitude to this. And see, when you get a bit of euphoria with this, we all become stars, because we can all have our own little channel, our own little content, and we run it with the bosses. You know, we're the top boss on our channels, and only if we don't follow the censor rules, they'll take us off. So everyone dreams of fame and famous. The third one about that there is spiritual. Spiritually, fame suggests that we need to accept our own integrity. And that's what dreaming about fame and famousness is. So, in and out, what's this all about? But it's good that we've had a like. We'll stay on for the full 30 minutes. Was going to go on a bit longer. Usually had a few more people, but like I said, it's just a different time. And we're getting some new people come in. They probably don't talk to the old ones. Trying to get me new people, which is good. Ooh. Oh, dreaming of maggots. Oh, yes. We got to get a bigger boat. Got to get a bigger boat. The first thing I say is about fishermen straight out, so get a bigger boat. These maggots are not working. Or working too well. Yes, well. But it shows the pretty good things, this book. I'm not reading it exactly. I changed a few things. Otherwise, that will be full copyright. But I am reading from a bit of a book. And I reword it as I go along. It's not exact. It's not exact at all. But I'm not that smart, though. I can tell you some things I know in the Aboriginal way about dreams. Not certain things that you dream about. In my version, well, people say, but you've got the rainbow serpents and all that. I said, yes, but they're different. They're not. We weren't taught to see that as evil. We were taught to see that as the bringer of life. And it's only when the Christian God come to our shores and started telling us that we were paganists and savage, didn't even class us as human, that they decided to say, well, that's what is wrong. You must be all devils. Snake crawls on his belly, he's a devil. But that's not entirely true. Just like that book's not entirely true. You have to take it with a pinch of salt. Pinch of salt, unfortunately, and people won't understand that. It's led a lot of people to the good path, but they're still indoctrinating you to a bit of a false reality. It's about time people woke up to that. The false reality. What a false reality is, that's it. We're going to have the world that we got. Under the semblance that I say, okay, but it's really not. I mean, look at the world, how we're going, you know. Besides, we try to have dreams, and like I said, I've got a book here, it tells you all about the dreams. So if you've got an item or a place that you dream about, you might be able to discover what that's about. But you've got other dreams. Everyone's got dreams and hopes of what they want to do in the waking life. Like I dream I wanted to be a fireman, and that when I was a child. Always dream about rescuing people, you know. Even dream I wanted to be a soldier. That was funny. That was a funny dream. And I almost succeeded at that, but I ended up having kids and had to stay back and found a job that was better paying than getting shot at. So I decided to go that way of things and raise my family. Otherwise, I probably would have not been here to raise a family. You get that. But yes, our dreams. We're told in school, you know, oh, you go for your dream job, you know, you can do whatever you can dream about. Well, you can't. You can only go as far as your education is going to take you. In some cases you might be lucky and get nepotism, where you've got a family member that owns a good business and they slip you in that way. Even though you're not truly qualified, you might be a hard worker, but that's what they call nepotism. That's the same way Obama got into power, nepotism. The only reason why he truly got into power is because of his color of his skin. He never really did anything that was good for America, and whatever he put into place has been terminated long ago, because he never did anything. Just a bit of a hype and a fanfare, really. My great uncle was a soldier, and he sadly passed away in war. Yes. I think most families you'll find have some sort of connection with family members passing from war. It's like with mine, it's my great grandfather and my great uncle. Both died. Well, yes, one died at Gallipoli, another one was at Alexandria in World War One. They're both on the Gallipoli Peninsula. My great grandfather, he got shot in the throat. They got him off the Gallipoli Peninsula and managed to get him to Alexandria where they had an X-ray machine. But by then, the septicemia had kicked in. He passed away from that before they could pull the bullet out. And he's buried in a mass grave there with all the rest of his brothers. You know, my other uncle, he died 6 days before that event happened to my great-grandfather. He was shot in the head. And as they were trying to do surgery on him onto the way to the island of Lemnos, he passed away, so they buried him at sea. So yes, I got one buried in the Aegean Sea, one buried in Alexandria. I'd like to go and travel there and put the wraith in the sea and go and see Alexandria and put the wraith there. But that's all about finances. And look at that part of the world, how dangerous it is and how terrible. Still at war, still fighting. No, still not good for Westerners to go there because it's all a bit rough. Respect them, yes, always respect them. You know, that we say to ourselves when it comes to the Anzacs, which were created, which is the Australian and New Zealand Forces, Army Corps, I mean Anzac for short. Yes, we became really nations at Gallipoli. Even though it was a failed campaign, that's what sort of made us, you know, proud as Australians. And we've been like that ever since. And they got the name Digger, where they use a shovel and keep digging and digging till the bombs can't get to anymore. Crazy. Very crazy. But that's it. And over the time, the Anzac became one of the legends. Legends of out of all the armies. Only 3 armies in the whole world have ever been truly feared. And that's the Spartan shield, the cry of the bonsai charge, and the wrath of the Anzac. That's it. The Anzacs were the 40,000 horsemen that come out of Egypt and took the Holy Lands back. Okay, that happened. That's a fact. That part of history has already passed. So, you know, and we all look at things. We dream about that. What's the future hold? Well, if you've got a dream, we might be able to discover it. I know dreams are personal and people are personal and all shy and with all these pronouns and all this. I just like to call people their names. That's why we got them. That's how what you identify as, your name. That solves any prejudice and any problems of getting pronouns wrong or right. It really does. So most like people create that stuff because they deliberately want to argue and fight the point. For what point? We all breathe oxygen, we all eat food, and we all take a dump. Regardless of what you want to be looking like. When we start working that out, we might start working ourselves out. But till we get that right, we're going to still have arguments no matter how much we try. I wear poppy pins on my hat to show respect. Yeah, we've got them all around here. That's the thing. It's like that Peter Jackson. He recreated because his relative was in the British Army. And he recreated like from the British view. Like it was in black and white when they was training in the country. And then when they actually got to the war zone, he recolored all the old footage, and you see all the red poppies all the way through the fields. But when you look at an old black and white footage, you can't see any of that. It just looks like devastation and mud. But when he actually recolored it, and they got the actual cameras onto it, it was all poppy. They worked out shit. There's all poppies and all that here, and it made it look. You know, it's really. Now my late partner, she never really used to like watching. That's my sort of thing, man. Sort of thing, you know, war movies and documentaries and stuff. She didn't like watching it, but that was one she actually sat there and watched right through because she said usually in black and white, you just, you know, but when the color came out, bang, the realization come. She realized how a lot of those so-called men that look like the old grey men in black and white are not old. They're very young. All between the ages of 20, or 17 and 20. You know? Crazy. But that's what war is. War is old men talking and young men dying. That's what war has always been. It's always been that way. Now we're at a part in the human population where it doesn't really matter if we go to a war and lose 300 million people at that war. Might seem like a bit of a calamity, might be mirror bloody World War II, but we can breed that up in 9 months after that war. So it's easy to come back from that, because the human race has got 8 billion people, and we can breed like flies if we want to. You know? So they don't care how many they push into these wars now. You understand that? They're more worried about paying for the drones than paying for the soldier. Just cannon fodder, guys. Just targets. You know? That's it. And that's what they do. That's what your war machines are. If no one had war, no one had bloody soldiers, well, then the aliens would just march right in and take over, won't they? And we'll be gone. No, we'll have to have some sort of defense. But that's what we've already got. And if I ever got up to, go up to Exmouth and go up to the old Truscott Air Force Base, which is still running, you'll see that the world is not at war anywhere. It's all a big show. The whole world is a show, guys. The whole world is a stage. Remember that. And what can magicians do on stages? Show illusions of disappearings, and reappearings, and one's getting cut in half. And it's only when that you discover that it's a trick. They can do that with anything. Now that's how this works. It's like the age-old discovery. And now, at the beach near my home, I can see the military base in there. Yeah, our military base is Navy base down there, Garden Island. That's got a bloody hyperbaric chamber under the back where the submarines come through and all that one. That's only about 20 k's down that way, so it's not that far. Yes, all military bases everywhere. But, you know, we don't really need them. And it's all false anyway. It's all under the false semblance that they've got all these problems in international wars and bickering and everyone has to have an armed force to keep us blindfolded to the fact that those things are there to keep us in our countries. We have to get a signed passport from the government before they let you move to another one. In a free world. Well, it's not free. So, in the so-called free world, where we're herded around like cattle and we're actually locked in, right? The military is not there to defend the country. They're there to keep you in. Right? They're there to protect the government in case they turn around and say, well, civilians are kicking up. We'll send in the army. Each government's got a policy like that in the Constitution, no matter what you think. Government can always slip in and take over any minority group it wants to. Do whatever it wants to do to them. They often do. They're right to offer something else. Or let ones come in that shouldn't be there at all. They got that policy too. But the world's a funny thing. No, it's coming to a head, guys. The Archangel Michael's right in front of you, whether you believe it or not. That's totally up to you. I've got a official government letter from the current Prime Minister that's in office right now in Australia, stating that when I asked him about chasing that big giant dragon lizard, Nunjin, the pale horse, and how his breeding drones and how they've been stealing them, and America and bloody Britain have been helping them take them out in them big giant green fucking planes. And and I got these the 2 ending stones that Satan's looking for in my pocket. Anyone else see an email like that, they would come around with a white truck and clock this up. But because I had the evidence and what I was talking about was 100% fucking true, they sent me back an email saying I'd have to send it to this department and compile that evidence for you, Mr. Akbar, but we will get back to you. They wouldn't have sent me a letter at all while I was a fucking nut. So dragons are quite real, right? One been running around out there for about 13 years, and they've been catching us drones. Everything that we got happening in society now, with the problem with the sexuality, with drones and technology, that creature's mimicking on a biological scale, because it's a dual sex creature. It's uploading and downloading information. In school, I read books about war for some reason. It makes me feel comfort. Well, maybe it's war. You want to learn how to prepare, how to maneuver, you know? And I mean, secretly, I'm not going to lie to you. I used to do the same thing. I like watching my war documentaries. I've watched that many of them. People said, that's all you know, because that's all I do know. No, I know how to. Gee, I could lead an army in no worries. Maybe that's a sign that you want to be a leader. You know, we do certain things and we become attached to certain things because it might be for some mission that we've got later in life, or it might be just that's something that strengthens your mind. And yes, it's not so much comfort. It's funny you say that because I find comfort in that too, despite the fact there's fucking total calamitous and everyone's dying. You know. Well, that must be our warlike nature in us. Well, that's a warlike nature, but that means you could be a warrior, preparing yourself, or it could just be, what you like to watch. That's very spun out. Okay. Dream. That makes me feel like that's good. Good conversation like that. And we've gone past the half an hour mark, which is brilliant. Oh, so that's good. Actually got to talk to someone. They seem very nice. And that's really good. Yes. I do find comfort in watching those war movies. Don't know why, but I do. Strange, that. Wonder what that says about this. The Dream Dictionary. You dream about war. You go right to the back, I guess. You dream about women. Okay. Not going to read that because I'm sure most men occasionally will dream about the woman, hopefully in an adequate way. And women will often dream about men, or someone will dream about whatever they like. But these ones that dream about children's, well, it's a bit different. That's more of a lost thing that should be eradicated. But you get that. Yes. I just got it and now it's gone. Here we go. Let's have a look to see what dreaming about war is. Okay. War. Oh. War. What is it good for? Unfortunately, we are at war whether we like to know or not. There's two sides to this war, good and evil. Heaven and hell. And we're between. You see how that works? There's 3 levels. That's why they give you the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That's why there's 3 sides to the pyramid with the all-seeing eye in the middle of it. 3 levels. Heaven, earth, and hell. And the battleground is going to be in between. Heaven and hell. Which means it's going to be earth. So it means we have to fight as men. Does that make any sense to anybody? I know it makes sense to the top. The top bloody men in the so-called religious world would understand that, of the 3 levels, the 3 sides to the triangle, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, what that all signifies, heaven and hell, and what's in between heaven and hell, earth. So heaven's up there, earth's here, hell's down there. That's your 3 levels. And that war is going to be between heaven and hell. So the battleground is going to be the planet Earth, where we are on this plane. And it's going to be spiritual and digital, it's going to be physical, and it's going to be mental. It's on all the levels, on the fourth levels. Because we're in the fourth dimension despite this act is only 3. Let's work that one out. And so we're going to have to fight as men. That's why the Archangel Michael is in this man's body right now before you. I got the receipts, other than having a halo instead of wings. But like I said, people have been lied to about that halo. It's actually this. But this will be made of steel. This is a war helmet. And instead of wearing collars to save you from getting hit in the neck, you go like that and the sword will shear off. When you see me coming, you see it gleaming in the sun, because I use that to my advantage. Because I'm a master of war. God built me to be a weapon. I am the leader of all heaven's armies. So I got to know tactics. You know? And in this man's body, I know things that there's no way I know. I never learnt as a fucking child, not growing up. When I face it, I know things that will, make the most holiest man realize that he's not so holy after all. Because he's always got the collection plate out. God doesn't need money. You want to know the secret of that curse that you see carved all around the world? You know, the anarchy, the body, that's all right. That's okay. And you come back, and then you've been very nice, Haley. Thank you for chatting. You kept me a little bit occupied. A lot of people come in last night, some of my friends and ones I know, but that's it. It's very nice of you to be nice. Had a troll earlier on, so laughing at all things about the Lord's Prayer while I was doing it. So if they want to laugh at Jesus, well, you know where that one's headed. Like a proper troll, I guess. It's funny when I come online, yeah, it does glitch. Could be my end too. YouTube, I'm a moderator for Jaguar Wright. Right? I've been a moderator for her for over a year now. And if you know anything about her, she's quite controversial. So YouTube plays around with us and tries to keep the good message down, the good fight down. At the moment, we're underdogs. So, bet on the underdog because we always pay out the best dividends. Simple as that. And we fight the good fight. Whether you like to believe I'm the real archangel or not, well, that's the only one you're going to get, and the only one God's sending. And I am here now just trying to prepare you. I'm not here to save. I'm not the Savior. That's Jesus. Or Joshua, whatever you want to call him. I know him as Jesus, so that's the way I'll keep rolling. I am the Slayer. I am the Punisher. I am the Executioner of heaven. God, the Lord of War. God sends me to fight. And I got a task to do. It's pretty hard. And that's to deal with that mortal dragon. Which I know his name is Nunjan, and it's a Jewish sex being, and it's the pale horse that you seek. And it's the flesh. It's been running around for 13 years. I can't help that. They wanted to pay me $4 million, guys. Shut my lips. And any secrets inside here forevermore would have been theirs. Well, they're my secrets. I can tell whoever I want. And God determines that those secrets need to come out to the world. But I'm not going to quite do that yet. Because there's too much going on. Let's put it this way, right? You got the Epstein list going on, which is a calamity because there are some very evil things going on there. You got all this bloody industry, Hollywood thing going on. Oh, I am interested, but I must sleep. Yes, okay, that's okay. If you have to go to bed, you have to go to bed. That's the way that is. But yes, all this evil and that going on, we need to get on top of that before I ever bring out a picture and footage of Nunjan the dragon. Because then that's all you're going to worry about. Not going to worry about any of this crime. They'll get away with it because everyone will want to know about this fucking dragon. And dragons are real. I often put it in my shorts, or I put it in my, actually in my posts. The actual letter the email I got back from the government, 100% official. Dragons are real. I can't help that. Archangel Michael tells the truth. God signs you in with a drop of water, follow 10 rules and a few side clauses, and you slip up to heaven. Satan, he signs you in. might be able to do a handshake deal with him. You know, with the Archangel Michael, I promise to do things. When I promise to do things, they get done. That's the way I sign you in. That's the way I have my little clause. So family business, guys, and the cash is souls. And the main prize of it all is life itself. So we can't let them get hold of the immortal dragon and life itself. Signature of Mother Nature in that one. Pale horse. You read it as a pale horse comes out, and the rider on him, they call him Death. It's not quite how it's really supposed to be. There's going to be a pale horse rider, and death and all hell will follow him, because they'll be trying to get me. Riding that horse while I'm trying to get away. So it might be a bit of collateral damage as they're chasing me around. Because they know once I bring that to the world, that's a shield, see? And they can no longer use it as a weapon. Because they want to grab it, like all militaries do, and Satan, they want to weaponize it. That's what they've been doing to his drones, because the drones are not as strong as Nunjan. And they can capture them, and they can seal them up in big giant bloody thick steel bloody cages. And they export them out, 3 of them in one of those big giant green bloody airplanes that America's got. Big flat planes, military ones. And they get 3 of them in there like they can get 3 tanks. So it gives you an idea how big they are. Right? They put 3 of them in there and they piss them off. Don't know where they're taking them, but they're not leaving them here. They're taking them all out. Making money. Breeding up their own little shields. Turning them into weapons. But they'll never get Munjan. They might get me. But I'm going to teach that thing, teach that creature, teach that dragon, and all the center things. All about the nature of man. When I teach that dragon what the true nature of man is, what his position in this world is, because he doesn't know, he's highly intelligent, like all dragons are. And yes, you can communicate to him, but it's a special language. It's more an effeminate language. That's why his name is Nunjan. He's the pretty boy, but he's he's a dragon and all the sense of things. This is the Archangel Michael signing off. Good night, Haley. Thank you for coming in. Oh yes, how you going, Temper? Oh, you popped in. I didn't see you there, Temper. A bit blind to it. Hope you're well, Temper. Hope you're well. She popped in, going out. Well, at least he's popped in and said hello. This is the Archangel Michael signing off for now. It's because I've got my can of bourbon sitting right there. And I want to take a drink of it, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Archangel Michael's a man. I get to be privileged to experience as an angel, a woman, what the woman feels like, and have family and children and see the earth with my children. Okay? So then the universe will never be out the soul of the Archangel Michael. Because once I finish down here, well, that's got that trip to oblivion. And that's another story altogether. Because that's not even in the book, that one. That's after the end of that book. It's not the end, the all be all and end all things. Still more, we get to write a whole new book. Isn't that wonderful? When we reach the end of the Bible, we finally get to the end. Guess what, guys? We get to write a whole brand new book. Isn't that wonderful? We can create something so fantastic, make everybody happy. Maybe we should try and do that now, before we have to go through the doom and gloom. Because people don't understand. You can actually rewrite things, and put your faith into that, and then that will become a reality. But that's a bit beyond the nature of everyone's thinking. put their faith in a book that's been changed and changed and hidden and changed and rechanged and repurposed again and again and again in one form or another. It's the Archangel Michael signing off for now. Stay safe, store up on water, and watch the skies.